What is it that's holding you back? What is it that you really want in your life? What are your goals for 2023? We need to make sure that we are directing our brain better to look out for things that will make us thrive, not just survive. What we don't want to do is say, we wake up early, we smash all our goals. I just don't believe in that. If you read a newspaper today, that is the same amount of information that someone would receive in their lifetime 100 years ago. The science that underlies manifestation is neuroplasticity, which is the fact that your brain can grow and change at any age, any stage, and any mindset. All the symptoms that you've described around perimenopause and menopause can all happen, but none of them have to. There are statistics that show that women who do yoga 3 times a week have lower levels of the stress hormone cortisol than women of the same age that don't. So I also went on that journey of considering yoga as exercise. And then I really realized that yoga actually is mindfulness, it's not exercise.
And you do talk about in your book about the conditioning that goes on as a child and kind of bringing awareness to that and how you can change it. Because often in those early informative years, we're not even aware, right, of what we're picking up, and they're informing us. So should we kind of start there, that these things that people need to start identifying that might be guiding, their compass and they're not aware of?
Yeah, absolutely. And let me give you a bit more of a backstory from, when I went to medical school, which is that I am the first child of first generation immigrant Indian parents. So I grew up with yoga and incense and meditation and Ayurvedic eating at home, but I went to school in North London and I just wanted to be like my friends. So I learned to separate spirituality from my regular life as a child, and then much more to separate it again from being a medical doctor in the Western world and a scientist. So it was only after I changed career and I'd been through a divorce at that time that I needed more spirituality in my life. And luckily I had access to it because I'd grown up with it. But some of it, I couldn't believe it if I couldn't explain it by science. And so the process of writing The Source was partly convincing myself that this actually works for a reason that I can accept as a scientist. And what was really interesting to me after the book came out was that all sorts of people in my life who are not into science at all, like they might be in fashion or anything, just the furthest away thing from science, said that it was the science that made them think all of that stuff they'd thought about doing before, like a vision board or visualization or, trying to be that author of your life. The fact that it was brain science that was explaining it made them actually take action, where before they thought, yeah, I'd like to do that stuff. I would like to think it works. But now it's been laid out in front of me that if I think and feel and behave in a certain way, it can change the outcome of what happens in the real world. And so writing it, obviously, I did all the research and there was a lot there. There's a lot of cognitive science that could explain manifestation. But actually, for me as a human, not as a scientist, the response from normal people in my life, that it changed it for them, was kind of wow. And I think that's when it really took off for me. So, we're tribal people. We need to exist as part of our tribe and have that validation as well. If I just sat in a room and did all the research and didn't interact with people in my real life, I'm not sure it would have had the effect on my life that it has had. So I love that too. It's very much a two-way process. And I mean, when the book first came out, I didn't know about this thing called book fairies that leave books on the tube or on benches. And so people were just finding it as a gift. And so completely random people were DMing me and saying, I got engaged, I got pregnant, I've started running my own business. And that's kind of,
it's amazing.
Yeah. And for me to get all those examples of it was okay, even without having to think about the science, this obviously works, which was just so lovely as a person to feel that.